while you were sleeping, I made this rosette.
I saw that.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to watch the building process of this rosette, there's a short on our channel.
Oh, you mean that wasn't a dream?
No, it was a short.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
right.
made it using the very similar process to this rosette.
Yeah.
The difference is this one is inlaid with epoxy, and this one is ebony, Gaboon ebony inlaid with maple. This binding here, so it's made to match this binding. This binding is made all of maple, but it's black and white maple, and the black maple was made by staining the maple with black aniline dye. Now I want to put some of this binding up the sides of the fretboard, so fretboard binding. I think it'll look really, really cool, and it'll tie the design together. But I'm out of this size of black, so I need to make some more black binding. So what we're going to do today is mix some methyl hydrate with powdered black aniline dye, and then I have all these binding strips that I've made. They're all the same size. I'm going to take 4 of them and put them in the dye. So this is the tube here.
Oh, that's what that's for.
Yep, we just pour that in
I
there.
was looking at that.
Yep, so we're going to take 4 of these things, drop them in here,
And then fill up it.
and then we're going to fill it up. Now, most people use water to mix with the aniline dye, and we're going to use nitrile gloves when we mix this because aniline dye is not entirely safe. The reason why I use methyl hydrate instead of water is that water will raise the grain on the wood, which is normal. Whenever you wet wood, it raises the grain, and we don't want to do that. So using methyl hydrate is a kind of a form of alcohol. And it mixes just as well with aniline dye, and it doesn't raise the grain, so we won't have to do an additional sanding after it comes out. One of the reasons we don't want to do an additional sanding is we want to keep as much of the dye in the wood, we want to keep the color as deep as possible. So we want to sand it as few times as possible. Eventually it's going to come out like this, which is not quite black, but it's black enough, and you can see some of the wood grain, and it's really pretty. But you can take maple, which is very light colored wood, and you can dye it to basically any color you want, which is really cool, using some aniline dye and some methyl hydrate. So we have our jug. We need a liter of this. That's 2 of these. We have a scale here. We're going to use 28 grams per liter, so we need 28 grams of aniline dye powder.
And you have to tear this.
Yeah.
This is quite weighty.
Yeah, when I turn it on, it tears out of it.
It tears automatically.
So that says 0.
Yep.
Yeah, so
So how much does this thing weigh?
108 grams. Yep. So we can go ahead and mix it up and pour it in there, and then we need to leave it for about a week.
Right.
And then we take it out and let all the methyl hydrate evaporate out. That'll take at least a day in a warm room. And then we're going to lay it all up in stripes with the light stuff, and we're going to go through the whole process of making this kind of binding. It's a fairly long process.
It's a long process, but it's definitely worth it because it just makes the instrument even more beautiful.
Oh yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. By the way, I did the back here as well. Remember I said I was going to do the back off camera?
Yeah.
And I added the purfling here.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so beautiful. I wish I'd done it on the front. No purfling. Perfect.
Yeah.
So on this ukulele, I'm
You're
definitely
gonna
going
do
to do purfling on the front and back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so to mix our aniline dye, we're going to start with a little bit of PPE. Don't really want to get aniline dye on our skin. I always keep these nitrile gloves handy for, well, there's all kinds of stuff you can get on your skin in the shop. And we want to measure out, so if you're brushing on a dye, they recommend 28 grams per liter. And normally you're mixing much smaller amounts to brush it on. We're going to fill this tube up, which is between 1 and 1.5 liters. And we're going to be soaking the wood for several days, so we don't really need that concentration. So I'm going to use 10 grams per liter. And I'm going to start with a liter. This aniline dye is from Lee Valley Tools. Comes in these little plastic cases with a set of instructions. And I have a little scale here. And that's 10 grams right there. I'm going to put that 10 grams in our mixing jug. And then measure out half liter of methyl hydrate. Another half liter. Grab our high-tech mixing stick. Liter. Then we're ready to go into the tube. It's really not a big deal. The reason my aniline dye is so good is because the particles are really, really tiny, which means they can penetrate the wood really well. And what we want to do is we want to try to make it penetrate all the way through the wood, so when we cut it or sand it, it's still black on the inside, or as black as possible. Alright, so we have 6 pieces of maple binding here. We're going to also do 6 undyed pieces and stripe them. You'll see because we're making the striped binding. Carefully as possible, pour this in. So this is just a cheap plastic tube, like a vacuum system tube I got from Home Depot for around $7. And I put rubber caps on the end, on the bottom end I also sealed it with silicone. There we go, it's just about perfect. So about a couple of centimeters from the top. And I'm going to cap it because methyl hydrate evaporates pretty fast. And that is just going to sit there for a week. And after a week, we're going to take them and have a look at them. And they'll probably be ready to dry out and get ready to go into the glue up. That's it. That's step one.